just getting set up here. I am starting my winter sowing today. It's early April, and that's a good time for me for my brassicas. Now you can start your winter sowing, of course, much earlier in winter, and especially if you have seeds that require, they go through a cold spurt, some cold stratification. I'm just doing brassicas. It's what works really well for me, I've found over the years, and especially recently. And I've narrowed it down that I don't want to do it too early. There's no sense for brassicas. They grow quickly, and when the temperatures are right for them, they will pop up. The beauty of me doing all my brassicas this way, which is instead of all these seeds, this is a big, I'm taking care of all my seedlings today. Instead of starting them all indoors, nothing is so nice as being able to, they're already acclimated to the outdoors. No need for hardening off. They're already hardy. They can go out earlier, which some of these can, of course. You've got kales and cabbage and broccoli. They can go out even before your last frost date and tolerate a bit. I don't need to do that. I'll just leave them here till it's nice for them to go in the soil in my beds. But it's so wonderful to just take the seedlings out, put them right in my bed, and I don't have to worry about them. They're not going to suffer as some of these will if I don't harden them off correctly, because they're ready. And all we're doing is, it's so simple. It is a very simple way for me to start seedlings in a climate that needs me to start a little earlier, you know, to get going. So you're just making little greenhouses. I have used, and often until this year, these are new, I've always used, you know, the lettuce that comes in a big plastic container that, you know, looks something like this. I've always used those. I just splurged and bought $3 little containers this year because it is a method I use every year, I know, and I will just keep these now. So the mini greenhouse, simply you put the lid on. My soil has been pre-moistened. It's already a little bit more than moist. It's a little bit wet. I'm going to lay my seeds out. I'm going to label correctly. Got labels here. Otherwise I won't have a clue because brassicas all look the same. So I'll label along, and then they'll go directly outside. I've got holes in the bottom. I'm sitting this on paper right now. I had my husband drill, what do you do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes in the bottom just for drainage. And I will keep my eyes on these as the sun comes out and the weather gets a little warmer, and just ensuring that these don't dry out before I need to plant them. But it works pretty good because it's this tight little greenhouse thing. It holds in the moisture pretty good. And I don't want to soak them too much. They don't need to be swamped in water, so the lid I keep without holes. It doesn't need it. And when the sun comes out outside on a nice day and the temperatures are good, then I will take the lids off or a little partial off and let them breathe. Another container that you can use, you see used often, is the milk jugs, the big milk or water jugs. I've tried those, and I don't like them for me because of high winds. I can't, whereas this, I can put a heavy weight, a big rock on top, they're not going to blow away. The milk containers will blow away. Plus I can put tape around it, and that tape comes off for me in snow and rain, and then it's just a mess, really. See, this is nice and tidy, as is the nice lettuce containers. Nice and free for those. So what I've got today, I've got, as I said, old brassicas. So I've got some Black Magic kale. I have to start that early in my zone 5B, which if I just were to direct sow that, because kale's pretty good direct sown, it doesn't get to, I think my climate's just a little cooler for that to get to a nice size. I've had it grow wonderfully for me, but I've started it earlier. I've got some cabbage. I've got Katerina, which is just a nice early cabbage, and Savoy Express, and another Katerina. Oh, Calibo, I'm sure I don't say that well. It's a lovely, tight, tall, purple cabbage, and it's a really nice one. And then I go into my broccoli. So I didn't purchase any new seeds this year. So I've got Waltham, the classic. I've got Gypsy broccoli. It's a quicker growing, but it doesn't mind a lot of heat. So that one keeps on going. It grew really well for me last year. And my broccolini, which I use artwork. I used to grow Burgundy, grows really well, but I just, we weren't as fond of that as much. It grows beautifully. I grew it many years. But I'm just this year just going to stick to the artwork. It's a really great producer and we enjoy it more because it's just like little florets of broccoli. I've got a cauliflower I'm going to try this year. My cauliflower gets so attacked by bugs. And this isn't the, you know, if you covered it, it wouldn't help because this is sow bugs get in it and every little thing that, but I've had some success every year with a few. So I keep trying, but some are not successful. So I'll plant a few of those. So it's Veronica I'm using. And it says it's an out of the ordinary cauliflower. I think this one is, oh, this is the spiral heads. What do you call it? I can't remember what it's called. Romanesca. I've got a red Russian kale. That's Siberian kale. I have another cabbage here. Golden acre early. And I'll just see if there's room or space for some of these others that I have. I have collards here. I've kohlrabi. I don't think I really need to start that early. It's because I've got the purple piano, which is the smaller one. I'm going to start with 2 containers right now. I have a third one if I feel I want to keep going. I've put just about 2 inches of soil in the bottom because my container's high enough for those seedlings. So if we look at this, they've got this much to grow. And I will spread it out seed-wise. And I don't like just pouring a whole bunch of seeds, but rather I'll space them out fairly nice for easy pricking out when it's time to go in the garden. So this is a Red Express. I bought it last year and it grew really well for me. Hoping it does so again this year. Now I'm just laying these on top and then I'm going to cover lightly with soil. These are all brassicas, so really all the same size seeds for most of these. So I'm doing 2 little rows and that should be enough. You're going to think for your family and your space how many you want to plant. I'm trying to go a bit bigger this year with just with what I'm able to grow. So that was called Red Express. I say that with these because I know that I can use more cabbage. Broccoli, I don't need to go too crazy. I found that I grow enough and I'll just stick with similar to that, but a little less. And here's my cauliflower. There's not many seeds in there. This is the Romanesca. So I'm going to space it a little apart. It must be a hybrid because I didn't get many seeds here. And the only thinking behind this is I don't need many of these, but I lose many. So if I can stick them in around somewhere, see if I can get enough to enjoy. So that's my first box done. I'm just going to lightly cover, minus this stick. And then I'll spritz this in also, but the soil is wet, as I say. Now this is just brassicas, but you could do this with pretty much any seed, and I will experiment in future. But right now with things like peppers and tomatoes and celery, they take so long. I like to keep my eye on them indoors rather than this method. So I'm going to stick with these 2 boxes. I think there's more than enough in there for our family. So I'll get these outside. I might cut the mic for a minute because it's blowing a gale out there, but I'll show you where I'm putting these. Because of warmth and sun, I want to make sure, which is what these seeds need, I want to make sure they're a little protected, so I'm going to put them down in between my beds where there's less wind, but they'll get full sun. So I'll show you where those are going. Now before I run outside, I'll just give you a quick update on my seedlings that are indoors. Here's just some extra Brussels sprouts actually. My tomatoes haven't really come up yet. There's a few peppers there. My globe artichokes, a little bit of sage, and that's just some green onions. This is called Miro eggplant. I've got 4 of those. My peppers, I have to today pot these on, but most have come up. A couple of that didn't. What's this one? The Ring of Fire. I don't think that came up last year, so I shall dispose of those seeds. Celery is doing great, but it is looking, some of them are very large, so they may have to be potted on. My peppers, I just potted those on into bigger plants. They were looking a little starved for their soil nutrition. And then here, just have some marigolds, and these are my Brussels sprouts. Looking pretty good. My leeks, still plugging along. Canterbury bells, I potted on some sage, pricked it out of here. Have not seen any sign of my lavender. Lavender's always tricky. More leeks. And this is my skirret I haven't seen yet, but that takes a while to sprout, so fingers crossed. Is it ever cold outside? But this is where they'll sit now from April till the end of May, so 2 months, and they'll come out when they want to, and it's so nice and easy. Well, take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.